Today I'm showing you how I made these steel machine labels. The materials and tools I'm using for this are 1mm thick steel plate, brake cleaner, clear matte varnish, my diode laser cutter and cold bluing liquid with a small brush. I'm starting with a piece of steel that I've already cut to size. This piece is 1mm thick, but I would have preferred a little thinner. Aluminum wouldn't work with this process I'm showing right now, however, there are different methods I think that would work. The first thing I do is clean the surface with a brake cleaner. It's one of the most important steps. Any grease, fingerprints or dust will affect how the coating sticks, and later on it can ruin the contrast in the final result. So take a moment here and make sure that the surface is completely clean. Once that's done, I apply a coat of clear lacquer. In this case a matte clear. The matte finish is a deliberate choice. It gives a softer, more industrial look compared to the gloss, and it also makes the engraved area stand out a little more subtle. You don't need a thick layer, just an even coat that fully covers the metal. And then it's time to let it dry. You can use good old patience, but I used an air dryer just to get it dry faster. After the lacquer has cured, the plate goes into the diode laser. What the laser is actually doing here is not engraving deep into the metal, but burning away the clear coat exactly where I want the design to appear. I always like watching this part because this is where the digital design turns into something physical. The precision of the laser means I can get really fine details without touching the metal myself. If you don't have access to a laser cutter, you can experiment using adhesive vinyl. You can cut your design by hand or with a vinyl cutter, stick it onto the plate and it will act as a mask in exactly the same way. It takes a bit more time, but in the end results will work surprisingly well. You can also try dry needling the varnish if you want a hand-drawn design. When the plate comes out of the laser you can already see the design, but this is where the magic happens. Now I apply the bluing solution. This is a chemical that turns bare steel black. Because the clear coat is still protecting the rest of the surface, the bluing only reacts with the areas where the laser removed the lacquer. So the design slowly appears in black while the rest of the metal stays untouched. As soon as the color is where I want it, I clean the plate again and let it dry. Technically the piece is already finished at this point. You've got the raw metal, the blackened design and a matte clear coat around it. But I like to seal everything with one final layer of clear lacquer. It protects the surface, deepens the contrast slightly and makes the whole piece feel more complete and durable. What I like about this process is that it looks complex, but it's actually built from very simple steps. Clean, coat, mask, darken and seal. And depending on the tools that you have, whether that's a laser, a vinyl cutter or just a knife and some patience, you can adapt it to your own workshop. That's the entire process from a raw piece of steel to a finished plate with a permanent high contrast marking.